Hello, hello, hello. This is Queen D and welcome to my channel. I am so excited because I'm in Jacksonville, Florida. And you know what? I've never been to Jacksonville, but we're going to talk more about that with Rhonda. And anyway, what I want to say is to thank you. If you're looking at this right now, you will probably get this 3 weeks from now on YouTube channel, which I would like for you to subscribe and keep your comments respectable. I appreciate that. I'm Queen D, and this is Queen Court's Conversation. And right here we have
LaTroy.
Hi, LaTroy. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. I'm just so happy that you came. Thank you.
Deneen.
Hi, Deneen. How are you today?
Fantastic as always.
I appreciate you. And Rhonda.
I am Rhonda Baker Stansberry, and I am blessed and highly favored.
Amen. That's what I'm talking about, because we are some blessed queens here today. Yes. And we're just going to go right into it because, see, Queen's Court Conversations about my mission is to have conversations with women, with beautiful queens as yourself, where we can speak our truths in a non-judgment space. Because, see, we as queens, as you know, we always judge each other, don't we? From the top of our head to the soles of our feet. That should be God's place, okay? But we do it anyway because we can't help it. We are conditioned to do that to each other. And this is something that happened from generations ago. This is not something that just happened with us. And that happens because we came up in well, I would say our history put us in this position. And we're not going to go into all of that. But I would like to start with Rhonda. Rhonda, good morning. I'm so delighted. Good morning. I'm so delighted that you came because, see, this is like 3 months.
I am grateful to be here.
Yeah, and I'm grateful to have you. And the reason why I'm starting with you, Rhonda, is because I read your book. And Rhonda, actually, what I loved about your book is you actually gave me a history of Jacksonville.
Yes.
So it wasn't just about your family and you. It made me, so when I came in last night late, okay, I said, now I know what Jacksonville is all about. Because Rhonda had already put it all in the book. I was like, okay. So first I want to say, you know, being that this is Father's Day, Mom, this is just like appropriate to start with you.
Yes, it is.
Because you are a daddy's girl. See, I read the book.
All day.
You're a daddy's girl. But what I loved about this book is because it's really hard for African American women to talk about their dads. A lot of us don't have dads. Mm-hmm. You know, they weren't raised with a dad. A lot of single parents in our community, a lot of fathers just weren't there for whatever reason, and we can go down a long list of that. But what I love about your book is that you really talked about your dad in such a great light. Yes. And I really appreciated that. So tell us about your dad.
My father on my birth certificate is Frank Baker.
Mm-hmm.
But Frank Baker was my daddy. I was a daddy's girl. My daddy was originally signed to the major leagues, the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yes.
But my father had vitiligo, which is a disease that makes the skin blotchy. You probably see
Yeah, we call it the Michael Jackson disease now, you know?
Michael Jackson,
yeah.
Said.
Yes, he said he had that.
He did not show the signs that.
Right.
Because it's a vitamin D deficiency.
Yes.
But going forward, he was unable to secure employment after he was diagnosed and he could not go along and play in the major leagues. Couldn't find a job. That was 1960. Black man, Jacksonville, could not find a job. So he was approached by a high school friend and said, Frank, you know, we can make a lot of money if we do this. And what he did was what you all call the lottery now.
Yes,
it just
isn't that something?
Legal. You were calling it bolita, you were calling it numbers, but racketeering. And it's the legal system calls it wagering of taxes. And my father was one of the biggest number runners in the city. So this is how he made his fortune.
And what I like about that is that what I loved about your father, Frank, is that he not only made a fortune and treated you like the little princess that you are, now you're a queen, but what I loved about him is that he doted on you. I still remember that one about the diamond ring and how he had it cut down to your size, girl. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Look at Daddy preparing her, letting her know, look, you are beautiful, you are wealthy, healthy, everything. He's letting you know, like, look, you are my diamond.
My baby.
Yeah, my baby. And I love that. But I also love the fact that he also helped the community. Yeah.
Frank had no problem if you said, I can't pay my rent.
Mm-hmm.
Frank just reached his hand in his pocket and he said, I mean, these people grew up with
Yes.
him in the neighborhood that he grew up in, went to high school with him. He had no problem helping them out, you know, and then they watched his back.
Ooh, I read about that too. I said, what a stress on him, because I think he left this world because of stress.
He did. He
Yeah.
did. 47 years
Yeah.
old. You're not overweight. You're healthy. Stress.
Ugh. That's, and you know, we know what they say about stress. We all deal with it, but I tell you, it is really hard dealing with stress, especially back then.
Back then.
The culture was very different for the African community.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And my father was extremely, I mean, if he saw it, he bought it. And he just was extremely flamboyant.
Yes.
You know, I want to pick that out. I'm going to buy it. And a black man in 1968 driving off of the lot at
Yes,
Greg
with a
brand new
Mercedes. Yes.
The first black man in the city to own a Mercedes.
Yes.
And he had already had
Which is my
problems.
favorite car. I love Mercedes.
He already had problems from all of the court cases.
Yes.
And then when he bought that car, it just...
Jealousy, envy, hatred, prejudice, all that because
Everything.
he went and got a Mercedes. Can you believe
He
it?
wanted out of the store.
Yes.
Or out of the dealership,
Yes.
so to
Yes.
speak.
Yes.
And they actually, the feds took that car and kept it for 25 months.
Yes,
And
that's
I
that's
watched
awful.
my daddy go through pure hell. And that was hard at 8 years old.
I was gonna
9 years
say,
old,
yeah.
watching him just go through this. There was a point I wrote about it in the book.
Yes, yes.
But what I did not tell, you know, and I've told in other interviews, when I wrote that particular part where he cried.
I remember that. Like a baby.
He
cried like a baby to his mother.
My grandmother. And the whole house was crying, and he
So
kept
sad.
saying,
Why?
would someone
Why?
do that to
Yes. Because they're
Why?
just
And
evil
I
intentions.
remember writing that particular segment in the book, and I could actually feel that day again.
Yes, yes.
And then I started crying. My daughter, my adult daughter, she had to come and actually physically get me up off of the floor
Whew.
because I could feel it.
Yeah, you still can feel the pain,
Right.
his pain.
One thing about my father, my daddy, about 2 years after the case was settled, he did something that is still to this day shocking, but lets me know what type of man he was. He saw that particular guy coming out of the convenience store, and he threw his hand up and he said, "Hey, how you doing?" And I said, "Daddy, who is that?"
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, that was a doodad." And I said, "Daddy, that was the man that caused you all those problems?" And he said, "Yes." And that was all he said. And me, I'm like, oh my God, I have not gotten there in my spiritual walk. I got a lot of walking to do.
Yeah. But let's talk about that spiritual walk, because what your father was showing you is like, ain't nothing stopping this.
Nothing.
Okay, it's like, hey, you might have done this to me. It's a material thing, but you are not going to break my spirit.
Even before-
You're not going to do
Even
it.
before he
Yes.
left this earth, and he never said the amount of money that this particular person stole from him. All he said was, when I went back to get my money, he gave me $700.
I was shocked
And
when I
I'm
read
like,
that.
But Dad never disclosed how much money the person actually
Yeah, because
stole.
700 is just
Because
a
what
drop
he
in
was
a
trying
bucket.
to do was get out of the business. You know, there's always someone to tell you, hey, they're watching you, they've got the goods on you. There's always an informant, you know. And my dad knew the time was running out. So he had to get out. But
Yeah.
unfortunately for him, you know, and our family, when he died on April 24th.
Yes. Which was not too long ago, as far as that anniversary,
Right.
his passing.
And he's been dead for 39 years.
Wow.
But
His spirit lives
his
on.
spirit lives on, and he never went to jail for his crimes. He was, you know, he would go to jail and bail out, and bond out. But my father was always afraid of losing his freedom, not money or anything else.
Yeah,
His
of
freedom
course,
was the most
of
important
course.
thing to him. So
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. You sharing that
Thank you.
story with the world. So what inspires you?
what inspires me is the ability to help someone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
I've got to be able to
Yeah.
do something
Mhm.
for someone.
Yeah.
And then I'm a musician.
Mhm.
I have my own band.
Yes, we're
Golden
going to talk about that.
Princess. And the Black Notes. Music inspires me. Jazz. I did an
I love
interview and
jazz.
someone asked me, what did I think about jazz and hip hop?
Mm-hmm.
I think they're both great. I think they're wonderful. Both of them tell stories.
Yes.
And if you ever
Yes.
just sit down,
The instruments tell the story in jazz. That's what I love about
well,
it.
and if you listen to the words, if you listen to Billie Holiday,
Oh my
Strange
God, I
Fruits,
love her. I
she
got her
has a
album.
story
Yes.
when she talks about black
Wow.
bodies swaying.
Yes.
The writers of hip hop, they're telling a story.
Their story.
And
Yes.
all these stories are stories that are telling about social injustice, what they don't like
Yeah.
about what's going on.
Yes.
And you know, my band, we do a lot of jazz, R&B,
Beautiful.
and yeah.
Beautiful. That's wonderful. Okay, let's talk to you, beautiful. Hey, Queen. Yeah, so tell the world what you do.
I'm a realtor.
Yes. And you know what? I'm going to tell you, I love HGTV like it's the movie of the week. Okay? I'm that one, like, hey, like I'm going to sit down and watch HGTV and I'm going to get my popcorn because I really love real estate. That's one of the things. People thought I was going to be the Black Martha Stewart. They used to make jokes about me in church, you know, because I love houses. I love architecture. I love designing. When I came in here, I was like staging this place because this place was empty. I was like, oh, this place looks terrible. Let me get my stuff out here, you know? So how did you get inspired to do real estate?
Well, at the time I was in nursing school,
Uh-huh.
and my husband at the time, he brought it to my attention. So
Okay.
that's how I got into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you like about it?
I love it because it's flexible, and I love helping people.
Uh-huh.
And I love houses too. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. What is your favorite type of house?
The Florida houses.
Okay.
There's different kinds.
You know what? I love Florida homes because I went to visit my cousin the other day, and I was like, okay, she's like living wealthy here. She's like rich compared to where I am. I mean, because I'm in North Carolina, and the structures are different. It's more of a southern style flavor, but there's something about Floridian homes. They got like the in-ground pool going, the ceiling fans, and I was like, okay. You got the barbecue grill. She had everything, and I was like, wow. Her home probably would sell probably for like $1 million. It's almost close to $1 million in North Carolina.
Okay.
Because I looked at this home and I was like, wow. That's what I love about Floridian homes, because even some of my relatives have homes here, because I do have some relatives in Florida, and they all have in-ground pools. I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, that doesn't happen in every state to have an in-ground pool.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So it makes you feel like I got it all. I got my in-ground pool. I got my indoor-outdoor thing, which I love that kind of indoor-outdoor
Yeah.
flavor. You know, it makes you feel so good when you go out.
Just go out and sit out
Yes,
there and just
yes.
enjoy your time.
I love it. I love it.
Me too.
Yeah. So let me tell you. So if a single parent was a single woman, I should say, was buying a home, what would you introduce her to? Because she wants to feel like she's got it. You know, she wants to feel accomplished. You know, so what would you do?
What would I do?
Yeah, as far as choosing a home for her, because you know, as a hard worker, you know, single parent mothers, you know, when they get that money and they get the mortgage and everything, they're trying to get the best, and they don't always want to live in a kind of an inner city feeling. They want to feel like they're in the suburbs.
I mean, I would take them around the areas and show them the nice areas in Jacksonville, and then just let them choose what they want.
Are you originally from Jacksonville?
No, I'm from Chicago.
Okay, so what made you move?
I moved here because of my husband at the time. He was in the military.
Yeah.
So that's what brought me here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
I've
right.
been here for about 10 years.
Do you like it?
I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm still here.
Yeah. You know, because sometimes people be in places that they like. I mean, they don't like, but they stay anyway.
Yeah, I like it here.
Okay.
Yeah, I love the weather. It's completely different than Chicago. So.
Yeah, you know that's right.
Yes.
Oh, God. I don't know if I can stay in Chicago.
Winters,
Nothing against Chicago people, my disclaimer.
No, I understand. Listen, I understand.
Yeah, so getting a mortgage, what would a single parent, or even just the African community, you know, African American community, how difficult is it for them to get a mortgage right now?
It's not that difficult. I mean, the interest rates are a little bit higher now, but it's still not difficult. The market's still pretty good. So, yeah.
Okay. How did you do in lockdown? What happened when you was in lockdown? Reflection. Tell me about it for you.
The pandemic, it was a little different. Well, I mean, for me, I just had to readjust everything. Like it just wasn't the same. I remember when I did my open house, I had to do an open house, and nobody came.
Oh wow!
When the pandemic, and nobody came. The house was sitting on the market for months, and at the time, houses were going off the market like crazy. So, so it was a little different, but I adjusted to it.
Okay, so what advice would you give to someone who's interested in selling homes, but they don't know what to do? What would you do?
I would definitely tell them to get a mentor.
Okay.
A mentor or a real estate coach. That's what really helped me. So,
yeah,
that would be my best advice.
So going forward,
it's not easy.
I know, because I thought about doing that real estate test. They said it's really hard.
Yeah, I took it 5 times, believe it or not.
But you passed.
I passed.
Stay inspired, everybody. You know, nothing beats a failure but a try. You got to keep going, right? You got to keep trying anyway till you get it, right? Because by the 5th time, you're like, I know what the question's going to ask me.
I took it 5 times.
You know.
But I definitely, you know, for people wanting to get into real estate, get a mentor or a real estate coach. And, you know, it's not easy to make money right away. So, because some people think, because on TV, they always they don't really show the ins and out of real estate.
Right.
And what you really go through. So.
Okay. Do you do $1 million homes too, or do you have a certain
I do everything.
Okay.
Yeah, everything.
So where are the $1 million homes at?
Fernandina Beach, Ponte Vedra, and certain different areas of Jacksonville. Yeah, but those are definitely where.
Because I'm going to check it out right now. You know, I'm like, okay, because I love looking at big homes, especially by the water.
Yes.
I mean, how much do the homes by the water go for?
5.5 million.
Okay, that's not so bad though.
Yeah.
You know, it could be worse.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not bad for Jacksonville, no. Yeah.
Do you have any celebrities that you know that bought homes here in Florida?
No.
No?
I'm just being honest, no.
So, because, you know, I'm thinking about Will Smith with that song. You know, he talks about going to Miami, and they said it was an influx of African-American people buying homes in Florida. So I was just curious to know what that percentage was and everything.
Oh, well, I'm working on it.
Yeah. So what inspires you?
My children, my babies.
How many children you have?
I have 2.
Yes. Boy, girls? Or?
Boy and a girl.
Oh, you're blessed.
Because,
you know, you don't have to try again like everybody else. Like, oh, I'm still trying to get this or that. You know, I never did get the girl. I'm so disappointed. I never did.
Girls
but I was like,
work.
you know what? I want a girl. And this guy was like, another boy. I said, maybe it's my personality. I don't know. Maybe I need boys. But, you know, girls I hear are kind of hard, though.
Yeah, boys are easier.
Yeah, just ask my mom. She had 3 daughters. She'll tell you we stayed in her closet. She got sick of us. You know, it's kind of, so how old are your children?
10 and 8.
Okay, so that.
No. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Oh, see what I mean?
See? Wait a minute. My daughter is 9.
Oh,
my son
boy.
is 12.
Okay.
I was off. Way off.
Your daughter's gonna be mad at you. She's gonna be mad at you when she see this. Like, Mommy, why'd you get this wrong? You know.
I said my son was 10. He's 12.
Okay. That means she's really working hard. Everyone, stay inspired. Okay. Yeah. So let me ask you, with your daughter, well, you know, your children. Period. This must be a very difficult time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I bring them with me.
Oh, I mean, like, did you put them back in school?
Yeah, they're back in school.
And what was that like? You know, this Florida, you know, like every state now has all these different rules and regulation. I mean, with the mask mandate, wear and not to wear. How did you manage that?
It wasn't easy. They didn't like the mask.
That must have been hard. I can imagine telling my children to wear a mask at school.
My daughter kept taking it off, so yeah. But my son got used to it. He's really like a germaphobe, so he's like, I want my mask on at all times.
They have their personalities very early. You get to know who they are, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Even at home, I'm like, you can take the mask off now, baby. You can take it off.
And girls want to be cute too. If it don't match their outfit, they don't want to wear it anyway.
Yeah.
You know.
My daughter takes it off.
So they're well and healthy. Nothing happened with them.
No.
You didn't. What about the school system? Did the teachers have to wear masks?
Yes,
that's
everybody.
my original profession. I'm a special needs teacher.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Both of my children are on the autism spectrum.
Okay.
Yes.
So that is another challenge for you.
It is.
Because one of my children was a special needs child, which made me really educated from age 4 up. what to do with that. And back then they were saying stuff like, I just want you to know, we'd be lucky if he ever reads a newspaper. Well, let me tell you, never listen to anybody. God is in control of that, because my son went to college and graduated twice from college, got a bachelor's degree.
Yes.
You can't listen to man.
Yes.
You can't listen to man. So, you know.
I treat them just like
That's
everybody
right,
else.
because they might have, every child has different challenges regardless. It's not what they don't know, it's what they know, and you build and scaffold from that.
Very true.
And my heart goes out to all the teachers out there, because it's hard right now. It's hard
Not
being a
easy,
teacher
yeah.
right now. That's
Yeah.
why I'm doing Queen's Court Conversation. But, you know, because when they asked me to go back to work, I didn't want to do online. I just didn't see myself sitting in my bedroom or, you know, on a desk trying to do online, because I am definitely a person that likes to be hands-on with children. That's where you get the joy, watching them learn and do things with them. So at that time I was like, I can't do this. No, you know. So, you know, that's a blessing. It's a blessing to be able to work and take care of your children in this climate that we're in. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think Biden's doing a good job? Tell me, you know, you can be honest about what you feel.
I don't know.
What is it you think he can do better? Because, you know, this is with children and teachers, and we know what happened with that school shooting.
Right. Yeah.
You know, that was frightening.
It was.
You know, so sending your children to school, they're not homeschool, right?
No, I did homeschool them at one point in time.
Yeah, I did that too.
Yeah,
For 2 years, I
during-
homeschooled my children.
During the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When mine was small, even though there was no pandemic, I homeschooled them for 2 years because I was really deep into the church. And so the church had a big community for homeschooling as well. You know, but, you know, children right now, God bless them. God bless them. But, you know, God prepares them. He prepares them for where they're at right now. So these children are really equipped for anything. We may not think they are, but they are. It's just like any generation. They're equipped to handle it. You know, like babies at 2 years old can use a cell phone better than me. Okay, technology, they got it. They're like, hey, give it to the 2-year-old. Help me with this, please. This all you do is go like this. Okay, thank you. You know?
This is true, though. This is true.
Right?
Yes.
You know, my son gets so annoyed with me now, and I call him, I say, could you please help me with the TV? I mean, like, why do I have 3 remote controls for one TV? Why do I have to go through all this? He's like, when are you going to learn? I said, when you learn to cook. Touche on that one, okay? When you learn to cook and take care of yourself. Right now, if I ask you to come and, you know, change the channel or fix my phone, just do it. Spoken like a true mom, right?
Yes.
Just do it. Okay. And now, thank you so much. So what inspires you going forward? What would you say inspires you?
Just my kids, myself,
Yes,
just stay
yes.
motivated and keep going. That's it.
You know, children will motivate you, won't they?
Yes.
You know, if anything else don't motivate you, you're dedicated to your family, children will help you, even in depression, because you'll be thinking, okay, depression, let me go back to bed after I get up and cook. You know, it's like, I can be depressed after I make sure that my children are okay.
As long as they're okay.
Yes, as long as they're okay, that's more than half the battle.
Right.
Because you can't be happy if they're not really happy.
True.
You know, so that is really, children are our strength and they are the future, you know, and we're just praying to God that, you know, we get it right so our children can be safe in the schools. And God bless all the teachers out there who are on, you know, I hate to say it, but on the front line, just like they're in the Army. They're on the front line. It's a shame, but it's the truth, right? They're on the front line.
It is.
Yeah, but this is where we are. But we will get through this like we get through everything else. We will get through it. Thank you so much.
you.
I appreciate you sharing your story. And next, let's talk about you because you're a life coach, aren't you?
Well, I do that amongst a great many things.
Okay,
but
you
yes,
jack of all trades. You're wearing all these hats,
I
aren't
try,
you?
I try. Stretch them out.
But you know, women do that anyway, don't we? We try to wear every hat we can. Like we the doctors, the lawyers, the nurse, the counselor, everything else. There's such a long list.
Well, if you ask my husband and my children, I absolutely have to wear all those hats.
You are the CEO of your house.
I am.
But don't tell him that.
He already knows.
He already know you're the CEO, right? Oh,
knows.
he's like, you leaving this morning? Where you going? You got to you going to be talking? Oh, what about the kids?
He's the chief financial officer. And
That's
I get to be
right.
the CEO.
That's right. That's right.
In the Herman household. But no, that's just how things are. I mean,
Yeah.
I have 5 children.
Oh,
So
bless your heart.
So 1 girl, 4 boys.
You know, the first thing when you said that to me was labor 5 times. I didn't think about anything else but labor pains 5 times. Like, whoo! Yeah, bless your heart. So give me the ages again.
So my daughter will be 18 in October.
God bless you, because you look 18.
Oh, well, thank you.
Woo!
Appreciate that.
You know, we all want to have skin like yours.
You look amazing.
You
Working on
look
it.
awesome. Beautiful. Yes, amazing.
And I have a 13-year-old son, 2 8-year-old boys, and
Are they twins?
no, there's a funny story behind that.
Okay.
But 2 8-year-old boys and a 3-year-old.
Okay.
And he knows he's the boss. Like, that's the thing. I don't know what it is about the baby of the family.
I do. I have a baby sister. Whew.
But
If you're watching this, I love you, T. Go ahead.
he absolutely knows that he's got me and his dad all wrapped up. We're just, and his brothers too. He just runs everybody.
Yeah.
So we're working on breaking that, but it's not, it's tough.
He's like, you know what? I'm the youngest, so I got to stake my claim and my position here now, so y'all don't run all over me. You talking about the other siblings? He's like, no, we're not doing that.
He absolutely thinks he's a big boy. He's like, I don't know what is this baby you speak of? I'm not a baby. I'm a big boy.
Oh, that's so cute.
But yeah, no, my 2 8-year-olds though. So I had my my son, Gabriel, when I married my husband, and he also came into our marriage with a child that was the exact same age. Like, they're only about 3 months apart.
Wow.
So they were thick as thieves from the time that we met. So we've been married 5 years. We just celebrated our 5-year anniversary.
Congratulations. You know, that's a milestone. It used to be 10 years, but now we have to celebrate that 5 years. Times have changed. You get 5 years, you're like, woo! All right. If we could just hit that lucky number 7, we got this.
But no, he's actually the one who inspired me to strike out on my own and like.
Aw,
really
that's wonderful.
Get out there and invest in myself, invest in building my own business.
Yes.
And supported me through it all. He's like, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna, I'm standing behind you.
That's wonderful.
This is my job, is to support you. So
yes.
I can't say enough good things about my husband. He's fantastic.
And let's talk about that for a minute. Let's hold a thought on that.
Okay.
You know, it is so wonderful to hear that there's still some marriages, especially in our community, that work where the husband is so supportive of his queen and he's a king, and y'all raising your king, little young kings and queens coming up. And the reason why I use the word king and queen is because a lot of times, as Rhonda would tell you, you're not looked at, especially the men. We have to build them up and support them, especially in a climate as harsh as it is today. It is so important that we lift each other up, especially now. I mean, I guess even back then, because what it is that the reason I feel that a lot of our relationships fail is what's around us. It's the environment that's around us. Because I'm going to tell you a story. When I watched Fences, for the first time I understood what my father went through. I watched the movie Fences, and I said, now I know why I used to come home like Fred Flintstone. Because he was grouchy, because he had so many things to contend with on a regular basis. And so when he got home, he wasn't in a good mood. It's really hard to be in a good mood if you constantly out there, fighting battles all day, So to hear you say how supportive he is of his queen and how he's the one that encouraged you to invest in yourself, that's an asset. That's a blessing. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I agree, because I remember thinking to myself when I was ready to leave corporate America, I just, every day I would come home and I would be spent. I would be emotionally spent and mentally spent, and I knew that I was going to have to rise to the occasion for my family, for my husband. I didn't want them to feel less. Yeah. Right? I wanted them to feel everything they deserved to feel. But it's so, you can't give 100% to everything. Yeah. Right?
It's so hard.
I was trying to be in all these places at all these times, be everything to everybody. And my husband literally sat me down and he was like, I need you to stop. I need you to just take a second and sit down somewhere. Just don't worry about dinner, I got it. Like, and it was at that moment when he was like, "Don't worry about dinner, I got it."
Like I can
knew
exhale.
that I could just
Breathe.
take a step back.
Yes.
Because he worked all day too. It wasn't like he
Yes.
hadn't been at work all day doing the things that he does. He's in the military. He has a very stressful job.
Yes.
The difference was he loves his work. You know what I mean?
Thank you for your service, I say to him. Yes.
I mean, and we both come from that background.
Yes.
I was in the service. He's still in.
Thank you for
know,
your service.
It's like
yes.
a thing. You know, that's a calling, really, to be in it as long as he's been in. I just think to myself, I am profoundly blessed to be, you know, loved by this man and loved by my children and loved by my family.
Yes.
And I want to share that with people.
Yes.
You know, I want
They
to
need
share
to hear
that,
this. Yes.
Yeah, with everyone. Everyone deserves that.
Yes.
Like, respect is the minimum. Like, that is where we start.
Okay.
And if there is
Yes.
no mutual respect in whatever relationship
Yes.
you have, whether it's
Absolutely.
personal, professional, educational, whatever, if there's no mutual respect, then there's no relationship.
You know what? I just said that like 2 days ago. I said, you can have love if you don't have respect. I say respect has to be first in order to have love, because see, love can be toxic because we all come from different backgrounds and we may not know how to show love. So we think we might love, and then the other person says, that's not the kind of love I need. But respect is always going to be the same.
Absolutely.
And if you cross that line, you have no place to go with that. So that's beautiful. And on that note, we're going to take a break. Hello, and we're back, and what a lot of great energy we have here with all the queens today. They're really telling their story and inspiring all of us, and that's what it's all about, inspiring each other. We're just having a good old time here. We having mimosas, and we having our champagne, and we just having fun. That's what it's about. It's about queens coming together, speaking their truth, speaking about inspiration, motivation, encouragement. So I'm going to talk to Rhonda. And Rhonda, what I wanted to ask you about is, what was a defining moment in your life that shaped your course of how you do things?
My father's death. Because I did not have Daddy to turn around and say, could you? Just then.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of like everything else you started doing from there. How long did it, you know what, I'm going to say this. You never get over your father's death.
You never get over it.
Never, never.
You learn to live
You learn
with
to adjust,
it,
live,
but
deal with it.
One of the things that has helped me was writing the book, because it cleansed me, told me a couple of things that I did not grieve properly when I lost my daddy. That was the biggest thing that it taught me. And then when I go back and I tell people I'm in my Bible every day, not some days, every day. And my father was just merely on loan to me. He was not mine.
Yeah.
He was God.
Yeah, that's deep. Yeah.
You know, and I thank him for the 23 years that he was in my life.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
he made me who I am. You know, he shaped me, he molded me. He said, Rhonda, I'm going to give you every tool to be successful in this life. Now it's up to you, sugar, to use them.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. You know, I lost my father approximately, probably going in this year, 5 years. It seemed like it was yesterday.
And it does.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you can still, for me, I can still hear his voice.
Yeah.
And it was so funny when he said, Miss Rhonda. I'm like, oh my God, I have done something. I said, he knows something that I've done, you know.
Yeah. He knows his daughter.
He knows.
Yes.
He knows.
Yes. You know, it's like my dad, when I was younger, he used to always call me boss and supervisor. I was like, well, why does he keep calling me boss and supervisor? As I got older, I realized why. Okay, boss. I'm like, Dad, son, okay, boss. I didn't understand. You know, they know their children. They know
you know your child.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when he says, when I was in high school, I'm going to buy a building so you can own it. And, you know, he was getting business cards for me, even back then. I didn't understand that he saw something in me. You know, he saw it. Yeah.
You see things in your children I know that he saw that I had a love for music.
Yes.
And this is why he allowed me to touch every instrument possible. You know.
Let's talk about that, Rhonda. You know, we didn't talk much about that. She is a singer, and she sings beautifully. And I read something in the book where you had met quite a few really big-time people. Yeah.
See, because of
piano lessons, so you...
voice lessons.
Yes, yes, yes. That's wonderful.
Was this guy that he never met a stranger.
Uh-huh.
And he knew that I had a love for music.
Mm-hmm.
And for years, we were very close to Charlie Haas Singleton, who had written Spanish Eyes and Lady. So later, you know, after my father died, I was talking to my cousin, who was very, very inspirational and supportive when I wrote my book. Her and my daughter were like they were there. And I said something to her. I said something to Stella, and she says, Charlie Haas Singleton.
He made some great music. He wrote some good stuff.
And I'm like, oh my God, I did not know that.
Wow.
All of those years.
Yeah.
So being out and being able to be around people
who in business
and who were in business and knew the business, you know, gave me a lot of advantages. You know, as a vocalist,
yes,
as a child,
yes.
Singing. You know, I tell people, I said my dad would take me and he said, I need you to get ready at 9 o'clock. And I'm like, okay, where are we going? And he never would say. And then he'd take me to a lounge, a bar, a club, and he told the band that my daughter sings, and then he says, Sugar, just tell them what key. And I've never met this person before. And here I am singing with a band that I'd never performed with.
Yes.
But that's the world of entertainment.
Yes.
You have got to be able to rise to the occasion.
Yeah, you know, I almost asked you to sing, but then I said, no, I don't want to put her on the spot. But you know, that's kind of the story of Aretha Franklin. When I saw that biography of her on TV, you know, her father used to do that to her. He saw something in her. Yes, stardom. Yeah.
And he would always music was always going in our home. You know, like I said, my father was a numbers runner. So he did not. It was not a 9 to 5. You know, he'd get up, he'd read the newspaper from cover to cover every day. You know,
my dad did too.
Coffee, you know.
Yes.
And just listening to music. If Nancy Wilson had a new song.
Oh yes, I love Nancy.
A new album come out Tuesday, by noon, Frank Baker had gone and bought that album. And I fell in love with her.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Just music in general.
Are you performing now, and where?
I am. In fact, we just booked, I know you guys aren't from Jacksonville, but we just booked, my band is the Bolita Princess and the Black Notes. We just booked the Mudville Grill for July 10th. We also booked a restaurant called The Cookbook. We'll be starting in July, and we'll be there every other Tuesday night.
And now, going until when? Are you going straight into August?
Until whenever they tell us, you know, they want to change, and we're going to be the house band.
So if you're in Jacksonville, ever come and see Rhonda, because I know I'm going to book my ticket to come back and sit in the front row and brag about how I know her. Okay.
It's good. And I'm working with some extremely talented musicians. In this business, you have to cherry pick your musicians.
Oh, I'm sure.
Not only do they have to be good musicians, their personalities have to work.
Yes.
And
putting a team together is not easy.
It's not. And
that's why I'm keeping Bob.
and they have to know your highs and your lows.
Oh.
I have an awesome group of guys, and they're young. They're young, gifted. You know. And
yes.
The first time I heard my keyboard player play, we were sitting in a place called Wildcraft. It's just where musicians hang out. And I'm looking at him, and I'm like, oh my God, is he going to beat the white keys to death?
See, only a professional would know the difference between the white keys and the black keys. You got to know something about piano.
And
Hello.
so I remember getting up, and I just jumped up and I walked outside, and I'm on the phone. I'm calling my brother, Daryl. I got it. I got the keyboard player that I need.
All right.
And I started cherry picking the musicians, and I found out each musician that I picked was being classically trained, just like I had been.
Wow.
That's why
Wow.
I could feel the vibe.
Yeah. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Yes. Wonderful. Wonderful. That's great. So I'm looking forward to hearing you sing.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes. So what gems would you give to us to inspire the
This is
world?
Me. I don't want to say that they're gems. I say I have a mantra. And it's always be kind. You can get so much by just being
Yes.
kind.
You're right.
You know, you can change someone's day
Yes.
being negative. Because
Yes.
I've always believed that negativity breeds negativity.
Absolutely. It's all about energy.
Yes.
So
Yes.
when I walk into a room, I say good morning. And if I look and the person sitting didn't say anything, I'll make it my business to go back over to them and say, good morning.
My dad used to do that.
You know,
Yes. He
because
used to
my
do
dad
that
said
all the
the time
time.
of day doesn't
I've
cost
done that. Yeah.
anything. And then I guess that person realizes that I should have spoken.
Right.
And you change the room, the flavor
Yes.
in the room, the
You do.
temperature in the room.
You.
Because what you've done is someone may have not had a good start.
That's what I was going to say. Yes.
And you
And
may
they just
have
needed to
brightened their
hear
day. They
that.
needed to
Yes,
say,
they needed
"Oh,
something.
you look nice.
Yes.
That's pretty.
Yes. Yes.
You know, I love those shoes.
Mhm.
They needed that boost.
Mhm.
And I just try to stay positive.
That's right.
Every
That's what it's
day.
about. That's what it's about. You know, because you're absolutely correct. When you smile, there's truth to that. The world smiles back at you. You can actually change how a person feels by a hug or a smile. It doesn't take much or hurt anything. And another thing people have to remember, even if they don't smile back, even if they're still in a bad mood, believe it.
You did your part.
You did your part.
You know,
And they still felt it.
I say,
They still felt it.
I say to people all the time,
Yes.
you know, love is easy.
Yes. It's not
Love is
complicated.
easy. But
People
guess
make it
what? But
complicated.
people make it hard.
Yes.
People make it hard. So, you know, every day is a gift,
It is.
you know, and
Yes.
life is for the living.
That's right. That's right. You hear that? Life is
love
for
it.
the living. Enjoy it because it's
Not promised.
Yes.
not promised.
Very
It's so quick. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. You have really made the world feel your energy. And I'm sure that there's people out there who appreciate what you had to say.
Thank you.
Yes,
I
thank you
appreciate
so
that.
much. Now, I'm still on this life coach thing with you because that was, you know, I read something where it says that you inspire people with also life coaching.
Yes. So I would hate to just pin myself into life coaching because
Yes.
I feel like at any point in time, we're all coaching somebody through something.
You got that right.
So I personally want to work with people, specifically Black women, to get more confident in their professional life. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
And find a way to strike that balance, not just personally but professionally, right?
Yes.
So the way I kind of look at that is a very wise person once told me, you don't see the world as it is, you see the world as you are, right?
I like
the way,
that.
The way you're walking through life.
Yes.
And if negative things keep coming at you, if everything is a fire, then that requires some reflection, right? That requires for us to take a step back and say, what am I inviting into my life? What am I inviting into my space? What am I allowing into my spirit? You know, how am I allowing these things to form what I see in the world? Can I take the accountability of
Yes.
myself
Yeah.
and form how I see the world, how I show up? Because that's really all I can control is how I show up. I can't
Right.
control
You can't control what's
how-
around you.
yeah.
Only control you, your
Exactly.
attitude.
I have zero control
Yes.
over other people's
Yes.
behavior,
Uh-huh.
responses,
Uh-huh.
thoughts. And guess what?
Absolutely.
What else?
Yeah.
Even if people are thinking negative things about you, you have zero control over that. And most of the time, people aren't even thinking about you. 99.9% of the time, you're not on their mind because they're too busy worried about themselves.
Right.
That's the nature of humanity.
Yes.
So what I like to tell people or try to help people get to in their own life is have some compassion for yourself. You know?
Yes.
You just give yourself some
Give
grace.
yourself a break, for God's sake. You're not perfect.
'Cause I remember being the person who needed to hear that. Right? I remember sitting at my desk or getting ready to go into my office day after day after day, just a mess on the inside. Just a mess. Everything looked really polished and put together on the outside.
Exterior, not interior.
Inside, yeah,
Needed work.
It was like a beautiful house that had a tornado going on inside. And it was not ideal. And you know, over time the cracks they show through.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, there's no amount of shellacking you can put on that. You know, so the work has to be done on the inside.
Absolutely.
First.
Absolutely.
And then that provides you with like an armor, like a suit of armor on the outside. Not that you
put on the full armor. Hello. Yes, put on that full armor.
Because as we all know, it's not my battle really.
That's right.
At the end of the day.
It's not
my battle.
No.
My battle is to get up every day, tell my kids I love them, keep them safe, tell my husband I love him.
Like Rhonda said, show love.
Like I have very minimal responsibilities in real time, in real life. The reality is we all want to feel valuable.
Yes.
We all want to share the value that we have.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, we all have something in common. Like, that is a human fact.
Yes.
So if we can walk out into the world and not be afraid to be our authentic selves,
right,
then I think 100% we have the ability to show up as our best selves. And I want that for people every single day.
Yes, be the best version of who you are.
Exactly.
Yes.
So,
wisdom.
Yeah.
Wisdom. And that is so important that you said that, because I think what happens with people today is that, one, they're not being the best version of who they are. They're too busy worrying about what everybody else is feeling or thinking and trying to control the narrative. And I think that's why this country is in such chaos now. Everyone wants everyone to feel what they feel and understand. If they don't, then they want to bully you into feeling what they feel.
Exactly.
And that's why we're in the problems that we have today, because no one is respecting each other's space or how they feel about anything. They just want to bully you. It's kind of like a kid in school. If you don't like red, then you're the bad one, because everyone, so that's what it is about. And I always go back to children, because children make life very simple. Yes. The reason why we're in chaos today, the reason why we have hatred today, all these things is adult problems. It had nothing to do with children. Because if you look at children, they love each other no matter what race they are. They don't care what weight you are. They don't care about none of that stuff that we start saying, well, you don't look like me, so I guess you're not good. And I think that children, a lot of times we disrespect and understand that we were once children. And we forget that.
Yep.
That we were once children and we did not see the world like it is today. And somewhere along the line, things get poisoned and tarnished, and we start thinking like the world revolves around me, or you don't like me, so that means, okay, then you're bad.
It's funny that you say that, because I absolutely had this conversation with my husband maybe 2 or 3 days ago. We were talking about my oldest son and how much like me, personality-wise, he is. He internalizes a lot. And my husband's like, I'm just really worried I'm going to have to toughen him up or something. I was like, don't you worry. He's going to hit 15. He's going to be more outspoken than you're ready for. Because I remember me at 15. My mom says it to this day. She was like, you were the perfect kid till you hit 15. Something snapped.
Hormones. Hello, hormones.
Fell off a cliff. It was a lot to process for her. She and my dad were trying to figure out how to just keep me on track. And you know what? Unfortunately, not unfortunately, it was actually a blessing. I got pregnant in high school. My senior year in high school. I was, straight A student, well on my way to the Air Force Academy. Fun fact, you can't go to academy schools with dependents.
Right.
So didn't take that opportunity. I still went to the Air Force, but on a different path.
Yeah.
You know, and that was a really pivotal point for me in life. You know, realizing that my entire life plan was gone. And that I had to make a new plan. And that the most important part of that plan was making sure that my daughter was safe and okay. And
You grew up real fast, don't you?
I did.
Yes.
I had to. I had to grow up extremely fast. And I mean, I was completely unprepared. I mean, when I say complete, I mean mentally, emotionally, physically, completely unprepared, financially, the whole gamut. And I took those experiences, went to war, did the whole dance.
Yes.
And it taught me a lot. It taught me how not just how to be an adult, but how to be a responsible human. You know, like how to
tough lessons.
How to be compassionate for for just the human condition.
Yes.
Because we're all going through so much.
Yes, we are.
You know, we all have
on a
so
daily
much
basis.
Just coming at us, and you know, especially with the advent of social media, and you know, I was born before the time of the internet. I remember the internet like hitting the scene. Everybody was like listening.
I was
to
slow to the party. I didn't get the memo.
Yeah, trying to keep people off the phone. Get off the phone so I can check my email.
I didn't get the memo.
I remember that.
Me too.
And I just think to myself, you know, my kids were born into a world where everything was in their face.
Yes.
And it literally in their face. Like nothing is off limits.
Yeah.
And
privacy is gone.
Yeah. And it's my job to teach my kids, like, hey, I know you have access to all of this stuff. I'm not ignorant of the fact that you have so much information at your fingertips, but buyer beware on that information.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, think critically about what you're taking in, because bias exists. People aren't living the same lived experience, so they're going to present facts in different ways. You know? And my dad, who's a huge impact for me, used to tell me all the time, he's like, there are 3 sides to every single story.
Yes.
There's this person, and somewhere in the middle is the truth.
The truth, yes.
So take that how you will.
Yes.
You know, if you are willing to accept your responsibility in the situation and you're willing to accept their perspective, then you might have an opportunity to find the truth in that conversation. And that is, for me, I think just critical in every conversation that I walk into.
Yeah, as you're saying that, it's resonating in my spirit, because this, you know, this month is Father's Day month, I would say. And I remember a voice, I used to always go, well, what's wrong, Dad? And he would say, what's right? Something to think about, what's right? You know, because a lot of times you say what's wrong, he'll always come back, well, what's right with it? You tell me what's right. You know, and then you have to, like you said, critically think about what is right and what is wrong. You know, and so I think about those things, and what you said about the privacy is gone, so now everybody have to be very careful. And it was kind of a funny thing too, because I remember putting that parental guidance on the TV, you know, so your children can't see certain things. And I couldn't figure the thing out one day to take it off, and he was like, okay, let me show you how you do it, Mom. That's just, the kids know how to put the parental guidance on and off, okay?
This is true.
Yeah, they like, okay, Mom, this is how you I'll put the parental guidance on for you, Mom. You know, and that's where we are now.
And that's the thing, you know, at some point, we all, parents, friends, family, all of us, we have to know what the boundaries are for us. You know, like
create your own boundaries. Yes, your own rules.
I struggled with that for years.
Yeah,
for years, setting boundaries with others.
Oh yeah.
And
I'm still learning that
people's
myself.
boundaries.
Yes.
You know, and I realized that in order for people to respect my boundaries, I had to show some reciprocity first.
Yes.
And actually step out on faith and say, okay, I respect what you're saying, and I don't necessarily agree, or I don't necessarily believe what you believe, but if it's what you believe, I'm going to take a chance and just try to have earnest, honest conversation with you about it.
Yes.
And meet you where you are.
Yes. We can agree to disagree. We don't have to agree.
Exactly.
And we still can respect each other. And I think that's what's going on in the world. It's like we can agree to disagree and keep respect for one another. We all have the right to our opinion and our own truths. And you know, so unfortunately, this is where we are, and I just don't know where we're going with that. But you've given us so much wisdom, so drop a gem for the world.
Gem for the world. Oh man. Always love yourself and love everybody like you love yourself.
Self-care is not selfish.
It is not. It's absolutely critical.
Yes.
Critical for a healthy life.
Right, because when you love yourself, then you can love others easily. Easily, when you love yourself, you love everybody, and it doesn't bother you if they frown or whatever. It's like, because you know, I'm happy being me. I'm enjoying myself.
Your whole view of the world changes.
Everything, your perspective changes about everything when you love yourself.
Absolutely.
Yes, you don't have time to worry about what other people are doing when you're doing you.
So true. So true.
Say that all the time.
Absolutely. You don't have time to worry about what other people are doing when you're doing you.
Yes.
So, okay, LaTroy, we're coming to you now. So, you know, what defining moment in your life that you could share with the world that really changed the course of who you are or what you do right now with family?
Oh, well, I'll say my divorce.
Yeah, we're going to have an evening show after 5 with Queen. After 5 with Queen.
Yes.
Bob, make a note of that.
Changed everything.
It will.
So I'll give you a little background.
Okay.
So I'm from Chicago.
Uh-huh.
I moved here 10 years ago. My husband was in the military. So that's how I ended up here. And we were married for 10 years. And I'd say like I'm actually getting used to actually being on my own now.
Whew,
And an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
With 2 special needs kids.
Oh, God
In
bless
a whole
you.
other state.
I understand
And all of my
your
family
plight.
is all in Chicago. So I am the only one here.
So you're a
But I do-
trailblazer, you're strong. She's what we call a shero, everybody. A shero. I mean, because it is tough being a single parent and to go through all these different things that you have to transition to.
Yes.
And you have to wear so many hats.
Yes. Yes. So that is what really changed
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it made you stronger, of course.
It really did. It
You
really
know,
did.
I always say, you know, the world is your classroom.
Yes.
If you want an education, the world is your classroom.
Yes.
And so what gems would you drop for someone?
Oh,
For everyone, actually.
just stay positive. The same thing. Stay positive. Change your mindset. And just keep going.
Yeah.
Don't let nothing stop you.
Yes. Yes. And remember, a bad day is not a bad life.
Yes.
If everybody can remember that.
Yes.
You know, it's simple, something like that. You know, you wake up, you're not going to always feel good. You're not going to always want to do the right things, you know. But if you can get through it, then you done half the battle right there.
That's it.
You know, that's so important that people understand that. And as women, as queens, it's even harder for us. We're not putting down the dads. I know this is June. We're not putting down you kings. But women, we are the glue that holds the family together. Whether, you know, yes, the men bring great stuff to the table, and that's why they call us the helpmate. But we have to admit, God has blessed us to do something that man can't do. And that is to create a life.
That's right.
Man can't do that. Only a woman can bring a life into the world.
Sure.
And the first one to do that was God. That's why we have such a big responsibility. You know, and even when a woman tries to escape it, you could literally go and say, you know what, I'm leaving y'all, I'm out. And go somewhere and everything will still be on your mind. Even though I left everything behind, it's still on your mind.
Yes.
Because it's an innate thing to be a nurturer. And to love and to do all these things, you just can't escape yourself. It's kind of like Jonah getting swallowed by the whale. You know, he's trying to run from how you gonna run? You can't run from you. That's crazy. But people try. They try to run from responsibility, and everywhere the responsibility is sitting there right next to them like, what we gonna do? You know? So yes, to stay positive is so important. So I just want to switch over talking about positivity. Ooh, pop culture. Let's talk about Will Smith.
Oh.
Okay.
All right. I agree.
Let's all
Let me
take
get
a
mine
sip of
too.
tea on that one.
Well,
And
let me say this.
And let me set the stage for you, Rhonda. Let me set the stage for you. So, you have worked your entire life and you finally get what you want. You are getting an Oscar. Oh, I thought my phone was off. Excuse me, folks. And you are getting an Oscar. That is the biggest thing you can get. Because in your mind, I have made it. I have made it. Everybody don't get an Oscar.
Right.
Don't care what race you are. You ain't getting an Oscar. I don't care how hard you work. Even Steven Spielberg didn't get no Oscar yet, did he? Yeah, I have to fact check that. I have to fact check that. But it took him so long.
You got one for the color purple.
That's right, yes. But see how hard it was. So, you're going up for an Oscar, and here we go. Tell us about it, Rhonda. What do you think about this?
I look at things from multiple perspectives.
Yes.
Because we cannot always be in control of everything we do.
Mm-hmm.
And I may be killing my own self and shooting my own self in the foot.
Mm-hmm.
But I was slapped into. I'm sorry. Rhonda does not know that she would not have. But the Rhonda that I know has small, that just just places you don't go.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably would have slapped up there
Mm-hmm.
and slapped in too. See, people need to know that everything you think you cannot say.
Mm-hmm.
My very good friend Lena Thompson says, she's deceased, she said, you exercised your right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to exercise mine.
Mm-hmm.
And although I am against violence,
Mm-hmm.
I probably would slap you. And it's wrong, dead wrong. I didn't say it was right.
Well, you are human. You have a right to your opinion.
And I probably,
That's your
can
truth.
I say this? My grandmother used to say, I will slap the fatal S out of you.
Okay, Grandma was tough too. I read your story.
And I'm sorry. I think both men were out of position.
Yeah.
I'd slap him.
Okay. LaTroy, you.
I wouldn't have slapped him.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't.
So, what do you think was going on right then with him? Because, everybody saw him laugh at first.
Yeah.
So, what do you think was going on with him?
Looked at Jada's reaction, and he was like, "Oh no, my lady is not happy, so I'm gonna do what I have to do."
Okay. And what about you, Dania?
Well, I probably wouldn't have slapped him either, just because Will hasn't exactly respected his wife all the time either.
Mm.
Which then opens the door for other people to disrespect her. Or he I feel like he set the example of how she should have been treated.
Mm-hmm.
And making a joke at her expense was not an example that he hadn't set
Mm-hmm.
in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to take some ownership for that too, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that would require him to be accountable. And a lot of people don't want to be accountable for their part in why other people behave the way they do.
Now, let's play devil's advocate. You have worked all your life, and this is your moment. Now he's banned 10 years.
Yeah.
And guess what? Him and Jada are not going to stay together. It's been announced that they're getting a divorce.
Really?
That's what was announced.
What?
They say where there's smoke, there's fire. So,
Exactly.
was it worth being banned for 10 years, losing your credibility, everything that you've been through? Was it worth it?
No.
But they were gonna get divorced anyway.
But then you have to look at it. Here's another spin.
That sounds kind of.
Is it going to increase his popularity?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Certain things are momentary.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a bad call.
Yeah.
That was poor judgment. But you have to look at what may have been going on in his time.
Yes.
At that time.
Yes.
What flashback could he have had?
Yes.
So, as I said,
Mm.
I was slapping.
Now let's ask this question.
I would have slapped him.
Yeah. Yes.
This
Yes.
is
Yes.
Rhonda. I know
Yeah.
Rhonda.
Uh-huh.
And I know the levels that you can take me See, in mental health, we call them triggers. Okay?
Yeah.
That was a trigger.
That's very true. That's very
I was
true.
triggered today.
There's certain things you can say
Yeah,
to
yeah.
me, and I'll be like, "That's nice, baby." And then there's certain buttons that you can push, and I got to take my glasses off, and church is out.
Okay, church is out. Okay.
You know, the Pope.
Jesus, take the
Pope
wheel.
has his limits.
We all have limits, right?
The Pontiff has his limits.
Yes.
And he just happened to catch Will
Yes, yes.
on that day.
On that day, right? So let me ask you a question, because there is a lot of people saying that Jada, Queen Jada, has caused him a lot of embarrassment with her red table talk. And that she never really respected him when she had the affair with her son's friend. And I've seen him on the Breakfast Club and other shows talking about that whole issue with him and Jada. So let's talk about that.
See, I think in the entertainment industry, people put their business out in the street too much.
Much tea.
Right. That's looking like.
Sipping tea on that one.
You're living your life in front of the camera just a little too much. This is what I love about Denzel Washington. You never hear his business.
Oh, you're not going to.
Ever.
And
You're not going to.
right.
Samuel L.
And,
Jackson either.
You know, it was another entertainer. He said, and I can't think of his name, Bernie Mac. Bernie Mac says, "Yeah, I've done a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
But I ain't got no outside children." You know, and you just, when you're in the public eye, you're always watched.
Right.
You watch 24/7, and that must be a hard life.
Yes. So let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask LaTroy this one. Do you think that this marriage, do you think they love each other? Do you feel that she loves him as much as he loves her?
No,
Okay. Why?
I don't. I don't. I mean, she's always talking about him all the time. I know she referenced. I remember her saying something about how he doesn't please her.
Ooh, that's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's very disrespectful. She's very disrespectful.
Ah.
So, and he never says anything about Jada. I don't recall him saying anything about Jada in the public eye.
What do you feel?
Well, again, I think they're both coming from places of pain. Right?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
I think-
Yes.
I think that probably in the beginning of their relationship, they were very much in love.
Yes.
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 And willing to walk through fire for each other.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as time went on, I mean, it's
Outgrew each
it's
other.
a well-known fact that they have an open marriage, whatever that means.
Mm.
And when you,
I'm a queen. I ain't
can't-
sharing
yeah,
nothing.
You can't.
Except the bedroom. But that's no way. We ain't sharing nothing. I don't share them.
My belief is you cannot solve problems that exist in your marriage by adding a third party. It's just
No.
not a good
No.
idea.
No.
It's not a
Make
good
things
idea.
worse.
You-
It's
you're-
gonna be a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was a well-known fact.
Yeah.
That they had that going on, and the reality is I don't necessarily believe that Jada wanted that to begin with,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But she accepted it. She acquiesced
Yeah.
because she knew it was going to happen anyway.
Yeah.
And then over time, that kind of eroded the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time he was ready, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, the whole gamut,
Mm-hmm.
to be committed to just Jada,
Mm-hmm.
she had moved past it. She was like, well, we're on board with this open marriage thing, aren't we?
Okay.
And now it's my turn to play
Interesting
reindeer games
perspective.
with you. This does not work. It's not conducive
Yeah.
to a happy marriage or relationship.
Right. And you know what they say, if you leave the hole for a snake to crawl in, he gonna crawl in. And you know, because the devil is always waiting for that time where he can bring you down. So he thought, this is a great moment, his Oscar day. Let's really shake his, jerk his chain and see how he reacts so we can tear it down. Yeah. You just never know how you're gonna handle something till it happens. So has anyone saw any of the documentary of the Bobby Brown biography?
No.
I saw that part 1, and he talks about his life. It gave me a new perspective of who he is as a man. He saw his best friend get shot at the age of 8. Saw his mother get beaten, hit upside the head with a billy club from the police. He's had a lot of turmoil in his life with his parents. He even talked about when he joined a group of New Edition, one of the reasons why he left the group was because he was outed out from rebellion, and he was diagnosed, I don't know if it was ADD or something, as a young child because he couldn't stay in school because of, I guess, post-traumatic stress syndrome. So we saw, like you said, the public play his whole life out, this marriage to Whitney Houston and Bobby Christine and that whole thing. And now he has a new wife, 2 new small children, so he gets a second chance. Do you feel that anything with him and Whitney, that he had any influence over her and her demise in any way? Anybody want to answer that? Because the way he made it seem as this, you know, I had all these traumatic experiences, and then I met Whitney and fell in love, and then we got together and everything. And so it was very interesting, and I want you guys to check that out and tell me what you think on the next time with Queen's Court Conversation, because that's another tumultuous relationship that was played out, and it's very sad.
I saw Whitney's version.
That is sad.
Okay.
Like I saw the Whitney Houston documentary, right? So it was essentially the other side of that coin, right?
Okay.
And the story, the way that it seemed, the way that it was portrayed, Whitney was already going through things of her own emotionally. She was a little bit, like she was this over-the-top personality that people believed that she was, but people who really knew her would describe her as, you know, very reserved, very shy, very inside of herself. She had a lot of things going on inside of herself that she didn't really share with a lot of people. And I think upon meeting Bobby Brown, like it was one of those situations where she was allowed to live out loud, as loud as she possibly could.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he inspired that in her, but it was also to her detriment because that relationship was toxic in a lot of ways. And they supported all the worst aspects of each other.
Yes, it did. Whew.
Now, I mean, and that's, I mean, that's the thing about, they don't call it walking into love. You fall. It's like a hit, you know, for some people.
I like how you said that.
And the reality is when she fell and he fell, they fell together, but they didn't fall in a way that they could grow together.
Right. Yeah.
They fell in a way that just reinforced any sort of trauma, negative, you know, like it was just.
They fed off of
Yes.
They fed off of each other's
In a negative way, huh?
Yes.
energy in a negative way. Yeah, and so I think that really, as much as they wanted to be what the other person needed, neither of them was in a place to be able to be that person, to pull the other one out of whatever hole it is that they were living in on the inside of themselves.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, because that was happening, they just kept going into this cycle.
Oh boy, yeah, it's a vicious cycle, and that's the whole thing about marriage, any relationship. You have to really protect it.
You got to work on
Got to
any
work,
relationship.
yeah, you have to.
It takes work.
A lot of work.
To make, I mean, even with your children, it takes work. At work, it takes work. So you've got to be an understanding person. You got to try to make things work, but then you've got to realize when it's over.
Yes.
It doesn't work.
And a lot of people don't know when to do that. You know, it's like they don't know how to stop and say, this is not working, this is unhealthy, I need to move on.
Exactly.
Because they feel they've invested time and energy. Especially for women, you know, we're kind of like, okay, we're going to try again, you know, and see what happens. It's like we get the message, but we really don't want to give it up because it's just that we just hate to lose, so to speak. You know, which is unfortunate. So going forward, on your bucket list, where would you like to travel? What would you like to do?
I am headed to Bremen, Germany.
Okay. Wow. That's interesting. I've never been to Germany. I've been to so many places in the world. What do you think about that with everything that's going on in politics?
I'm afraid. But I have had some offers there.
Okay.
To do some things.
Okay.
And, I'm ready for a new challenge, a new chapter
That is.
in my life. I run Atala Belita with my daughter, and this will be different.
That's going to be interesting and exciting
Yes.
for mother and daughter to do that. Yeah. That's great. That's beautiful. And what about you, Danina?
Well, I actually have a trip planned with my husband this summer.
Okay.
We're going to Utah. We're going to go hike the Big Five.
Okay, you girls here, these queens here picking places I would never think of. Utah and Germany, of all places. Okay.
I was actually stationed in Utah for 5 years.
Okay.
And so I
Wow.
loved it. I loved it there. It was
Really?
beautiful. The mountains are gorgeous. You can do anything that you want to do if you're like an outdoorsy type person.
Yeah.
I'm an
Yeah.
outdoorsy type person. I like to fish and camp and hunt and do all those other things, right? So so my husband and I are going and meeting up with our youngest's godfather and godmother, and we're gonna all go camping, and it's gonna be great.
Okay.
Aw.
See, I can't do camping. I can do glamping.
Oh no, we're gonna do some of that too. We're going to Park City for a couple of days too. It's not all gonna be built and everything, but no.
I can see you right now. Where's the hotel so I can go to the bathroom?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we're all pretty much used to the camping lifestyle.
Woo, because when I picture camping, I picture a tent, the woods, and that's it. And some sticks and fire and a
yurt.
pan.
No, it's really nice because there's obviously like cities and stuff around, but like
Okay.
if you get far enough into some of these big parks, there's zero light pollution at night.
Oh,
so you
really?
can see like what feels like the whole galaxy
Wow.
at night. So it's beautiful and definitely worth a trip if you ever get a
Okay.
chance to just go see the rock formations if you're into that kind of thing.
All right.
Mountain ranges.
That's interesting.
It's really nice.
Okay, beautiful.
Relaxing.
Nice.
What about you, LaTroy? Thank you. I appreciate that.
Turks
Sharing
and
that.
Caicos.
Where?
Turks and Caicos.
Okay, like I said. Okay, tell me about. Tell me why.
Island. Oh, because it's beautiful.
Okay.
And I've seen a lot of people go there, so I want to go there. Check it
Okay.
out.
Okay,
Yeah.
you bringing the children with you?
No. No.
You bring
It's
some
my
girls.
me time.
Your me
Yes.
time.
Yep.
Self-discovery, reflection, just enjoy. Put your,
Yep.
like, oh yes.
Yes.
I
Much
hear
needed.
you. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. So going forward, if you could tell the little girl back from the past, if you had a chance to do it, what would you tell a little girl? Your little girl, you, the little girl in you.
What would I tell her?
Yes.
That's a good question. I would tell her just be more confident in yourself. You're a queen. You're beautiful. And that's it. I don't know.
Spoken like a true queen. What about you, Danina? Thank you for sharing that.
Don't be afraid to own your truth.
I love that. Yes, absolutely.
Don't let anybody else's insecurities make you feel like less. And love out loud as much as possible.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
If you
Yes.
love someone, tell them.
Yes.
Because you might not always get the opportunity to.
Absolutely. That is so true.
And you never know when it's going to change.
Yes.
I love it.
I love that. Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it.
Yes.
And what about you, Rhonda?
Hey, continue to sing.
Sing
Sing
out
loud.
loud. Yes.
Me,
You
you.
know, because life is so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And it just took me so long to realize
Mm-hmm.
that it is truly a gift
Mhm.
to have gotten up
Mm-hmm.
this morning, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a pastor say, you know, every morning when I get up, I turn my TV to TBN. And this pastor said, why don't you put your shoes all the way under the bed so when you get up to look for them, you'll always be on your knees when you get up under the bed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good way to think about
Mhm.
it, you know. I'm just thankful to be here.
Mm.
I've outlived both of my parents. My dad died at 47,
Mm.
and my mother died at 60.
Mm.
And I remember freaking out when I was
Wow.
about to turn 47.
Wow.
And I'm just glad to be here.
Bless.
Thank you so much. That is a blessing. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yes.
You ladies have really dropped some gems and really have inspired everyone. And I would just say, everybody, Find joy in your journey
Yes.
because life is precious.
And keep it peaceful.
Yes, find that inner peace. And because if you find inner peace, people can feel your energy, you know, and love. Love. It's all about love because love is a very powerful thing. And it's all kinds of love. People don't understand that, you know. So I just want to thank you ladies here for coming and sharing your stories. It is a blessing to have you. Where can they find you, LaTroy?
Find me on Instagram at troy.miller.
Okay.
TROI.miller.
Yes, look her up so she can find you a fabulous home.
Yes.
Okay. And what about you, Janina?
You can find me on LinkedIn at Deneen Herman on LinkedIn. And also my website is swbsbusinessconsultingllc.com if you want any coaching or consulting services.
Yes, I just love the gems that you dropped. This is really a beautiful woman with some great gems.
Yes.
A life coach, been through the trenches just like war. Life is war too, okay? We have to be a soldier in it, right? For the Lord, we got to be a soldier here. But if we put on that full armor, we can do anything. That's right. That's right. And what about you?
Oh, all right. You can find me on Instagram as the Bolita Princess 35 and Facebook. You can find me under Rhonda Stansberry.
Thank you.
If you are interested in making a purchase of my book,
Yes.
numbers 35 and 53, The Case of the Brown Paper Bag.
I love it.
It's
I love
purchased
it.
on Amazon.
I love it.
Title.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Rhonda. And I just want to say one thing. Again, like I said, this book was an easy read for all those who don't like reading anymore.
Thank you.
You know, we're all on our phones now, let's be honest, and we're all in technology. So you can, do you have an audio?
I was going to say, do you have an Audible? Because
On Audible?
I was gonna
Excuse me,
ask
I
yes.
need an Audible.
Yes.
No,
Be-
not yet.
Yes.
I'm in my car a lot.
Yes,
so.
yes. Because what I love about your book is an easy read, and I like how I was able to follow that journey with you, and I learned so much about Jacksonville, the history of Jacksonville. So thank you so much for that. Thank you. I appreciate it. You know, thanks again. And we will be doing it after 5. I'm not kidding, because we're going to talk about relationships. We're going to shift gears.
I'm here for it too.
Okay. All right now. Thank you again. Thank you. This is Queen D for Queen's Court Conversations. You can find me on Instagram at Lorraine Moi, which means the Queen in me. And again, like I said, the reason why I chose that is because God gave it to me. Because I would never thought about saying it in French, right? You know, but that's what He gave me. And also, I'm on Facebook. And please follow my channel. Yeah, subscribe. Give me a comment. Let me know what you're thinking. I would appreciate that. And give me some likes. Love you all. Thank you. Toast to life. Enjoy the journey. Yes. Cheers.